Conflict in relationships generally comes about through lack of clarity about somebody else's intention and why they might have said that or reacted like they do. We tend instinctively to want other people to be more like us. And when people behave in ways that don't make sense, or particularly when other people behave in ways that provoke a bad reaction within us, there's potential for problems and conflict. Now, even though there's more than one type that will avoid conflict, that doesn't mean that conflict isn't happening within them. In other words, that doesn't mean they haven't had a bad reaction. If we can avoid conflict, or at least diffuse it, make sense of it, then life has got to be easier. And what the Enneagram enables us to do is to help us to understand why that other person has that particular attitude that is very different to ours. What's driving the attitude? And that will be typical of their personality type. It will be like a predictable attitude or a predictable response when you understand their personality type. And their responses to situations are not going to be the same as yours. Although we all think that we are having the same experience when we're with somebody and we're experiencing something together, we're not having the same experience. Different types actually experience things differently. And so they then react to that experience, and they also react from their own inner drive. Each of the types is seeking something different on a very fundamental level. And when that isn't apparently forthcoming, when that doesn't appear to be available, then that person is going to have some sort of negative reaction, whether it's shown or not. And it's going to, the outcome of that is that that person is going to behave in a way perhaps that you don't like, because it's not the way you would have behaved. So the Enneagram unravels all of this, so that instead of somebody else's behaviour making you feel bad, or you moving into a place of non-acceptance or judgment about that other person's behaviour, you can stand back and say, I can see why that person, as that type, would feel like that about that situation, and as a consequence would react like that. I wouldn't, but I can see why. And so where there might have been conflict before, there is understanding, acceptance and tolerance.